A Thanksgiving like no other. The smell of roasted turkey and spiced pumpkin pie filled the air as Mark Turner wiped his greasy hands on an old rag. It was Thanksgiving evening, and every shop in town was closed, except for Turner's Auto Repair, his small garage on the outskirts of Willow Creek. He had planned to close early, but he knew better than to make promises. Cars broke down whether it was a holiday or not, and as a mechanic, he had long accepted that his plans often came second to someone else's emergency. As he locked up, his phone buzzed. Unknown number. Turner's Auto, he answered, already bracing for bad news. A frantic voice came through the line. Sir, I'm sorry to bother you on Thanksgiving, but my family is stranded on Route 16. Our car won't start, and it's freezing. We have a little one with us, please, can you help? Mark sighed. He thought about the plate waiting for him at his sister's house, the laughter of his nieces and nephews, the warmth of family. But a family was stranded in the cold. I'll be there in 15 minutes, he said, grabbing his keys. An unforgettable roadside rescue. When Mark pulled up, his headlights illuminated a battered SUV parked awkwardly on the shoulder. The hood was up, and a man in his mid-30s stood beside it, his breath visible in the crisp night air. Beside him, a woman wrapped in a thick coat clutched a sleepy toddler against her chest. Mark stepped out of his truck. You the folks who called? The man's relief was instant. Yes. I'm James, this is my wife, Clara, and our son, Noah. Mark grabbed his toolbox. Let's see what we're dealing with. After a few minutes of inspecting the engine, he found the problem, a faulty alternator. Not a quick fix, especially without the right part. You're not going anywhere tonight, Mark said grimly. But I can tow you back to my shop, fix it first thing in the morning. Clara exchanged a worried glance with James. We don't have anywhere to stay. Mark hesitated for only a second before saying, then you're coming with me. A different kind of Thanksgiving. Mark's sister, Linda, didn't even blink when he walked through the door with strangers in tow. She just smiled, set extra plates, and made room at the table. As Noah giggled, stuffing mashed potatoes into his tiny mouth, Clara wiped away tears. We thought tonight would be awful, she whispered to Mark. But this is the kindest thing anyone has ever done for us. Mark shrugged. Thanksgiving's about family. Looks like I just got a bigger one tonight. James watched him carefully. You didn't even ask who we were before helping us. Mark looked confused. Should I have? James let out a small chuckle. I guess not. But since you don't recognize me, maybe I should introduce myself properly. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a wallet, and set a government ID on the table. James Foster, United States Senator. Mark blinked. You're joking. Clara smiled. He's not. Mark leaned back in his chair, stunned. A U.S. Senator had just eaten Thanksgiving dinner at his sister's house. A reward money can't buy. The next morning, Mark fixed their SUV. As James shook his hand, he said, people like you, you're the real backbone of this country. We need more folks who lead with kindness. Mark chuckled. Just doing my job. A few weeks later, a letter arrived. It was from the White House. Inside was a personal note from the president himself, thanking Mark for his selflessness and inviting him to Washington for a special recognition ceremony. Mark stared at the letter, stunned. He had never done anything for recognition. He had just been a guy helping a family in need. But maybe, just maybe, the world needed more of that. And maybe, just maybe, one simple act of kindness could change everything.